Hey there, hi there, ho there. You know what time it is. Your Uncle Dave knows what time it is.
It's time for your favorite politically incorrect sports commentary show of all time, the great, the glorious Sports Frenzy 2.0, along with your Uncle Kev the Maestro.
This is the Conquistador Dave Height. We are here to regale you for the next 2 hours with all sorts of badass,
Dumbass.
really nasty language stuff. Because again, like last week, I'm in a mood. I'm in a mood, Dave. I'm in a mood to piss people off. I want to piss everybody off.
That was your goal last week, too.
Yeah, I don't think I accomplished it, so let's continue the trend this week. Not only here, but of course, on the weekend edition,
That's right, your Saturday morning hangover cure.
where we talk about pop culture, and of course, that brings in a lot of nasty, deplorable stuff from Hollywood and other far-reaching places across the globe. But when we talk about sports, we tend to choose where we're going to start. We can start NASCAR, we can start football. Really, this time of year, we need to start with baseball.
Yep, we're 2 months in. Teams are who they are at this point.
And our teams suck.
They are abysmally bad.
Yeah, last night, of course, was game one as we tape here on June the 5th, dropping June the 6th. Of course, we're talking about Tuesday night, the 4th. First game of the year, the Crosstown Classic between the White Sox and the Cubs.
Yeah, two underperforming teams. Who would have thought over the last several weeks the Cubs' batting average would be worse than the White Sox?
I did. I'm putting my hand up. I did. Ooh, Mr. Cotter. Mr. Cotter, I did.
Yeah, but at least you guys are able to win a game here and there. The Sox now, after the debacle in game one, have lost 12 straight.
Yeah, I will say outside of this game, it's usually starting pitching. The Cubs, that's the one saving grace they have, is that they will have a good enough performance from their starter to get them into the later innings. Now, the bullpen could blow it. These lame-ass bats could blow
Can't score
it.
a run.
Yeah, again, Ian Happ shows up last night. Again, there's the great and glorious $20 million a year Ian Happ.
Yeah, who shows up, once a month?
Yeah. But he's not the only one. He is not the only one by far.
No.
Bellinger is not worth the money he's getting paid. I mean, Nico Horner's trying the best he can, but Nico Horner is not a home run guy. He is not an extra base guy. He is there to bunt, take walks, steal bases.
Morel? Is he?
Morel's a piece of trash. I'm sorry. I'm starting to lose faith in him. He is a Dave Kingman for our generation, is what he is. Home run, strikeout, that's it. And he botched. The reason why the White Sox last night jumped out to that 5-0 lead
was a major error on his part.
He misplayed that ball down the third base line so badly. Here's what I thought. And I went to bed. I said, 3-0, I'm done. I'm out. I'm out, Jerry. I'm out of the contest. Woke up the next morning, saw they won oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, Sox were up 5-0 when the rain delay hit.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Grafal, the great, glorious Sox manager, if you want to call him that. All right, starting pitch, I can't remember who it was.
Flexen was last night.
Was lights out before the rain.
And I thought, again, I knew the outcome when I went back to watch the replay. Like you said, rain delay.
And then he comes out and gets through one more inning, and then Grafal pulls him and puts in an even worse bullpen than what you have.
That was what I thought was going to be the downfall. And it did not turn out to be that way. When I saw them bring Flexen back in after the long rain delay, I was like, oh, you never do this. You don't do this. Now, he let up one run in one inning, but that's still manageable. 5-1,
Yeah, you
still
should
manageable.
still win that.
But after that, yes, it all fell apart for the White Sox.
As it will. Bad teams find a way to lose.
They've still only got 15 wins on
Yeah.
the season.
Yep. 15-46, 25 and a half games out.
Now,
bad.
The one thing I was just alluding to this a few minutes ago, the one thing I was thinking as a Cubs fan, I have no faith in this team. I have no faith in this team. Outside of the starting pitching, I would put Morel on the market right now. I would put Wisdom on the market. I would put Hap on the market and say, I blow the team up this year. You've got counsel for the next half decade. You got to bring guys in that he can work with. I don't know if he can work with these guys the way things are right now.
Yeah, it's
He's
not
obviously
looking good.
got a good connection with the starting rotation. Now, Imanaga, they're figuring him out. I get that. And
it's going to happen. He now has to adjust.
Right. And they didn't spend $300 million on him.
No.
So it's not an abject disaster. But there are guys you can shed payroll on this team right now. I keep Nico Horner. I think you're stuck with Dansby Swanson. That's fine. Give him another year to figure it out.
Maybe this is that hiccup year.
But have you noticed how all the Boris clients are doing? On top of the fact that they had to wait so long,
yeah.
Blake Snell has been an abysmal disaster in San Francisco. Jordan Montgomery, and I thought he was going to be good.
Yeah, he's
been
awful.
Terrible in Arizona. JD Martinez, he's been okay.
He's probably been the most consistent.
Matt Chapman's probably been the most in San Francisco, but still nothing to write home about.
No. So he really did these guys a disservice with the bullshit he was playing, not letting them with the team to get ready to go.
Yep. I think that's 100% correct. I think this all boils down to the fact they didn't have time to bond with their team, to get together with their teammates,
to get
even with
their
Cody
timing
Bellinger,
down and everything.
Even with Cody Bellinger coming back to the same team, I think it's showing with him.
Yeah, it's just not. Boris's ego ruined everything for these guys.
I think it's going to destroy him as an agent. I think it is. If
could
these players can't look at this as an abject failure this year, Montgomery, Snell, Bellinger, Chapman, Martinez, and look and see how they have basically destroyed their market value going into 2025. I can't help you. I can't help you. Nope. Get a sane agent who will get you a reasonable long-term deal.
Don't get the egomaniac who wants to break the bank every time out.
I can get you 5 years, $400 million, no problem. Just sit out for 6 months, and I'll get it for you. No. And I'll do a bunch of cool limericks at the press conferences while I talk about what I can get you.
Yeah, dumbass.
Well, Dave, it looks like NBC Sports Network Chicago is no more.
Nope, that's going away. So the Chicago Sports Network is coming in October, getting ready to air over 300 Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games, including pre, post game, and a lot of other content.
Now, I hope that the contracts will carry over with NBC Sports Network.
I would hope that the group putting this Chicago Sports Network together have the brains to bring over all the personalities currently on NBC Sports Chicago. All the fans trust these guys. They're known commodities. Get the producers, the directors. They know what they're doing. You need continuity in this day and age, especially with this. They're looking at having streaming options, cable options, and most importantly, being over the regular airwaves. Pull in with an antenna.
Yeah, we know the Cubs fucked that up completely and totally with the Marquee Network. Oh, by the way, I hate your play-by-play guy this year. Hate
Oh,
him.
that guy is awful. What the?
Schifrin?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that
Schifrin
went
is-
ballistic about Tommy Pham in that collision over the weekend with Contreras
Yeah.
in Milwaukee. You don't do that to us. It doesn't matter how many games we've lost. You don't do that to the White Sox. Shut your pie hole.
This guy is bad. This is who Reinsdorf wanted to have instead of the brilliant Jason Benetti.
Yeah.
Thanks for nothing, you arrogant asshole owner. Oh,
Yep.
So frustrating. You had one of the best friggin' play-by-play color team going with Benetti and Stone. And of course, Reinsdorf fucks it up like he does everything.
And Stoney, as always, last night, a class act.
He needs to get the hell out of there.
He's an absolute class. Yeah, and they've got him singing the insurance song during the commercial.
Oh, he and Benetti started doing that.
God.
The Nationwide is on my side.
Why are you degrading him like that?
It was fine when he and Benetti were doing it together.
You should not take a Hall of Fame level talent like Steve Stone and make him sing the Nationwide jingle.
It was an organic.
Would you make John Madden do that?
Benetti and Stone started that on their own.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I wouldn't want Harry Carey and Steve Stone doing it. I wouldn't want Judd. Maybe Tony Romo can do it. Got to be better than what he's talking about as he's eating cupcakes in the booth.
That's the most entertaining part of the broadcast.
Well, I can't argue with you on that.
I mean, this new guy is abysmal.
What else is abysmal, Dave? How about the gambling scandal? Hey, look over here. No gambling scandal over here in Los Angeles, but over here, yeah, plenty. Look over here. Don't look at Shohei Ohtani. No,
there's more.
No.
Oh my gosh, 5 players have been hit with penalties. Padres utility player Tucupita Marcano got it the worst. Lifetime ban. Because when he was with the Pittsburgh Pirates, he was betting on Pirates games. The biggest freaking no-no of all time. You do not bet on your own team, let alone on your own sport.
Yeah, back in 2023. Doesn't matter if you're on the IL.
Doesn't matter. You cannot bet on your game, let alone your team. It's everywhere.
And 4 more players suspended for a year.
Yep, Diamondbacks pitcher Andrew Solf, whatever the hell his name is. Saul Frank. A's pitcher Michael Kelly, Padres minor league pitcher Jay Groom, and Phillies minor league infielder Jose Rodriguez. Don't bet on your own sport, you morons.
But they're saying this is the tip of the iceberg.
Oh yeah, it's bet on other sports, not your own. My God, how fucking difficult is this to understand?
And didn't we say?
Better yet, don't fucking bet on sports, period.
And didn't we say, I believe a year or two ago, I think we fucking told you so, that this was going to start happening.
When the sports books are allowed to sponsor and advertise, yep, It opened Pandora's box.
Yep. I'd like to get in a Pandora's box. Now, here's an issue where I think things got blown a little bit out of proportion. And we have a lot coming up when it comes to lack of sportsmanship in sports, in particular sports. Of course, that will be coming at the end
Yes.
of the episode. But the Mets cut, basically, designated for assignment relief pitcher Jorge Lopez after he went ballistic, got tossed from a game, threw his glove into the stands. Now, on the surface, it looks bad. It looks really, really bad. You have to understand context.
Yes. Context
and
is
I'm not
key.
excusing his behavior. You still have to handle yourself better. But he has got family issues. He's got a sick child. I believe he's got an immune deficiency disease.
There's a lot going on.
This is an issue where maybe the Mets should have cut him a little bit of a break.
Yeah.
Gotten out in front of it and said, we're going to talk to him, and then come back a day later and tell the media his son is in bad shape.
There's a lot going on in his personal life that overflowed.
Yes.
And we're going to work with him.
Yes. So we're going to give him time off instead of just cutting him and saying, nope, you're gone.
A typical frickin' this day and age overreaction.
Which, of course, again, we'll get to later on. But yes, another overreaction. And then finally, yet another pitcher succumbs to an arm injury. The Astros, young starting pitcher Christian Javier, he will be the latest to undergo Tommy John surgery.
Gee, how about we back off the velocity and stop with creating new pitches and adding additional torque that's not needed? How about we get back to the damn basics?
And that is the one thing. I will say this. I am not trying to draw this back to the Cubs, but I don't get to watch the Cubs as much as the idiots who will pay for the marquee network. Sorry. But I got to watch him last night. Imanaga does not overthrow. He's got two pitches. He either throws a fastball or a cutter, and that's it. Now, for better for worse, we'll see how it plays out.
Maybe needs to add a changeup or a curveball from time to time.
Going back to what you said, I don't think overseas in Japan they teach these pitchers to overthrow.
Now, no, they don't.
Now, Ohtani's got arm issues. But again, Ohtani's probably getting away with,
a lot of different things.
Yeah, on and off the field, so.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, and I did check today. I did check the 300-plus hitter lineup.
Boom, baby.
You got 12?
I got 12.
Yep.
We are down to 12.
And that's
who qualify.
That's with Luis Arias jumping back in.
Yeah.
He was not eligible the last 2 weeks, according to ESPN.
That's right.
And he is by far, he is like the Rod Carew, the Tony Gwynn of the modern age.
Yes, he is.
I would trade Ian Happ in a second for him.
Yeah, they're not going to take that because nobody wants Ian Happ.
I don't know, the stats geeks, he's going to hit 20 home runs.
Whoop-de-fucking-do, and he's going to hit.
Arias hits
and he's going to hit, what, 201?
Yeah. Arias hits 330 every year. And everybody undervalues him.
He is a fantastic hitter.
He now could end up winning the batting title in both the AL and the NL.
Yep. So we have gone from 18 to 15 to 12.
Yep.
Do you notice a pattern, kids?
I think it'll be under 10 by the All-Star break. Break.
Easy.
Yep.
So I mean, this is
I
absolutely pathetic.
looked at the names.
Here's what you asshole stat geeks get. You're ruining the game. Absolutely
You care
ruining
more
the
about
game.
exit velocity than you do about guys who actually get on base.
Ugh. Frustrating.
I looked through the
frustrating,
12 that are still above 300. At the end of the year, I would say 8.
8 legitimate could still be there.
Yeah.
And you look at the guys who are just on the outside now looking in.
No,
I don't know that they're going to jump back in.
You're going to have guys drop. You're not going to have guys rise up. You're going to have guys drop.
Yep.
I see 8 guys at the end of the year. That's my prediction for hitters above 300, and that's pathetic.
That's sad.
That's
beyond
across
belief.
both the AL and the NL.
Yeah, you are no longer, with the way things are going, you are never again going to have somebody flirting with 400.
No, absolutely not.
Those days are long
Again,
gone.
it's another adjusted statistic, like pitching wins, pitching strikeouts. Now, 350 is now your milestone, probably your milestone mark for batting average. If somebody would hit 350,
oh my God, they're
yeah. And you kids
this
will never
is
remember.
Absolutely pathetic.
Will never remember George Brett flirting with 400.
Oh my God.
The great Rod Carew, the great Tony Gwynn, consistently 330, 340 every year for 15, 20 years. You guys don't understand the poetry, the greatness of players like that. You
art of hitting is gone.
But Aaron Judge hit the ball out at a 114 velocity rate.
Who gives a shit about velocity? It's bullshit. You're getting sucked in to crap.
Yeah, and trust me, I watch my team, and I can tell you right now, they are run by the stat geeks. Yep. I watched first inning. I saw Cody Bellinger, the great Cody Bellinger, swinging a ball literally a foot above the top of the strike zone.
Why?
Because he swings for a home run, or he might as well strike out. That's what the stats say.
Get on base.
Pathetic. Oh. Absolutely pathetic.
The death of the game continues.
We move on to the NHL playoffs.
We have the Oilers and the Panthers getting set to square off. Oh, wait, we got to wait till Saturday.
Yeah, yep. And this will go down. We got a couple little fun stats here again. Congrats.
We got a pair of stats?
Yeah, the pair of stats. Oh, my God, that chick. What was it? Not the final game, but the last game before that in Edmonton. Woo! I'm hearing perfection.
Perfection.
When it comes to the upper regions.
The chesticles of a young lady.
Yes. But we get the Florida Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers, and of course the NHL is going, oh, God, you're not going to get any ratings. If you like hockey, you'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I'll pop in and check some of it out.
But the stats, the fun stats, kudos to Yahoo Sports again for their great weekday morning newsletter with some fantastic info and stats. This will go down. And they're saying this will impact this series.
The travel?
8-hour flight, the longest distance ever in the finals between the two teams. 200.
No.
Oh my God.
2,000.
541 miles. 2,541 miles. 8-hour flight between Miami and Edmonton.
Ouch.
And then, of course, Canada. Oh, Canada. Blame it on Canada. Has not won a Stanley Cup since 1993.
It's been a long dry spell.
Since the Canadiens Now, gonna have some fun with Dave here. This is, again, kudos to Yahoo. They come up with some amazing stuff. I have issues with this. We'll see if the conquistador agrees with me. Dave, have you heard of the City Grand Slam? The City Grand Slam
Yes.
is a major American city
Whose sports teams have all gotten a championship.
all four major sports: hockey, basketball, football, baseball.
Yes.
So, New York, yes. Chicago, yes. LA, yes.
yes.
Boston, yes. After that, it gets a little tricky.
It gets a little murky.
Now, we have 9. 9. Now, I have a dispute with 2. Now,
are you going with Miami?
Miami's going for their 10th.
Miami's going.
Miami's trying to be the 10th.
To be 10 with the Panthers.
Right. But you've got 9 right now. Dallas just made it last year with the Rangers winning. So Dallas-Fort Worth was the 9th to make the cut. Here are my problems with this. And maybe it's because even though I'm old, I guess I'm not old enough. So we've got New York, Boston, Chicago, LA, DC. You have, oh my God. I'm trying to think of who else. No Houston. No Atlanta. Atlanta doesn't qualify. Philly. Philly qualifies. But let me ask you this about the 2 that should not. Because we've got Denver. They don't have the Rockies. Seattle does not have the Mariners.
Correct.
And they just got the Kraken's only been around for a couple of years.
Yeah, they're...
But Detroit qualifies because they're going back to the early 50s.
Oh, come on!
Yes, they're counting the Detroit Lions wins from the 50s.
No, that's a cop-out.
See, that was the first one. I said, no way does Detroit qualify.
Detroit should not qualify for that.
Yep.
No.
They count Detroit.
No.
I don't like it.
No, Detroit does not count.
So that's where I need to ask you, should we cut this off in the mid-60s? The Super Bowl era, when the Super Bowl era started.
You need to go with the Super Bowl era. Sorry. Because
now does that count
because
for
then
all
now
sports?
You also have to discount the ABA.
Well, this is my other question, is because the other team, the other city I have an issue with is St. Louis. Yahoo claims St. Louis qualifies.
No, they can't.
Because in 1958, the St. Louis Hawks won the NBA championship.
No.
See, I don't think that should qualify either.
No. Nope, sorry.
I think it's early 60s on. And if you want to say I'm selfish because of that being my lifespan, but nobody remembers the St. Louis Hawks. Nobody remembers them. Up until 2016, I would have been fine if you discounted the Cubs, although you had the White Sox. Now, of course, the big cities cheat. New York, Chicago, LA, because they get multiple teams in multiple sports. But still, come on. How does nobody thinks Detroit ever won a football title?
No.
Because they didn't win one during the Super Bowl era.
That's what counts.
And St. Louis, come on. NBA title?
What, you had 4 or 5 teams?
Again, that's what I would go with also. Bullshit. So I will say the Miami situation, the Panthers, they're going for the 8th.
Yes, I would agree with that.
So since we've got the hockey finals, the Stanley Cup finals set, of course,
After a too damn long layoff.
we would be remiss if we did not discuss the NBA finals.
And their stupid ass long layoff.
Oh, but they're ecstatic because they got the two best teams as opposed to the NHL. And I guarantee you the Panthers-Oilers final will be 10 times better than the Celtics-Mavericks. What an I know you're a Celtics guy. I know you like the Celtics.
They're not a likable team. The Mavericks are not a likable team.
Well, the Mavericks are not. And we have more to talk about.
I take exception with the Celtics coach. I'm not that wild about him.
Yeah, but he got put in a tough situation.
He did.
Ime Udoka, who was harassing the woman in the front office and had to leave, and then he goes to the Rockets, and all of a sudden they look pretty good. So he might be a good coach. Dirtbag, but a good coach. So we'll see what happens here. It could be an interesting final. But unlike the geeks at ESPN and everybody else, this is the best finals we could hope for. I told you last week, I think Luka Doncic has turned into a jackass.
And we told you why.
Yeah. Screaming and yelling obscenities at other players. Screaming and yelling. How about you just act like Barry Sanders? You've been there before. You've done it before.
The game. You were never like this before you got a new teammate.
And we'll talk more about him later. Because, oh boy. For all the love Kyrie Irving's getting here recently, I am going to once again expose him as the douchebag that he truly is. So, of course, as this drops Thursday morning, June the 6th, is when Game 1 will go off between the Mavericks and the Celtics in Boston. And Kyrie will go, oh my God, the racist bastards in Boston that drove me out. We'll see how this all plays out.
You were an egomaniacal little twit back then as well. And you haven't gotten any better. Maturity has not come into play for you at any point.
That's never been his strong suit, no. And of course, we move on to the WNBA, and I will now officially say, I'm done. I'm out. I dipped my toe in the pool.
And it's just as bad as the NBA.
Just like I did a couple years ago with the USFL. And I said, I'll try it for 2, 3, 4 weeks.
Shot, we'll see, and it's just, nah.
And now it has turned out to be the absolute cesspool, as Dave said, that the NBA is. Why? Why do you say this, Kev? Why won't you support women's sports? Because of what I saw this past Saturday afternoon. Bullshit, racist, cheap shots on Caitlin Clark. A league that will not back the player that is doubled attendance at every game she has been at. Oh, but she's a little pathetic white bitch. Oh, the words of Pat McAfee, we'll get to those later as well. Not my words, his words, although I will use the B word later for some other women. And I don't care if you like it or if you don't. But this past Saturday, playing the Chicago Sky, shocking, a team from Chicago would be a bunch of immature, petulant thugs. Kennedy Carter. Oh, by the way, could you tell your mother that Kennedy is usually spelled with a K and not a CH? Kennedy. Blatant, nasty hit on Caitlin Clark without the ball even being in play yet. On an inbounds pass. Massive, nasty hip check, knocking her to the ground. And they go, oh, it's okay.
A foul.
Teammates nowhere to be found. No one comes to her help.
Nothing.
And what was it? Last year's Rookie of the Year? Of course, Indiana's got this year's number 1 pick with Caitlin Clark and last year's Aaliyah Boston. She's a piece of crap. I'll tell you that right now. She, number 1, does not come to the aid of Caitlin Clark. And number 2, I've got to hire
the rest of the team.
And I've got a better vertical jump than she does. She barely gets 2 inches off the ground. And she doesn't help Caitlin Clark. She's the biggest woman that team has.
And should have been in Kennedy's face.
Could have been an enforcer, who we have heard from NBA players
saying that the Fever need an enforcer to stick up for Caitlin Clark. You have to protect your top players. You have to protect every player on your team. Your teammates, you stick up for each other.
And that's coming from one Draymond Green.
Yep.
Draymond Green is saying the Fever need an enforcer on that team. Matt Barnes, another guy, he was known playing a little chippy, a little dirty, backing up the star players on his teams.
Yep.
Saying they need to step up and start knocking down these other players. Like Angel Reese.
Oh, she got clotheslined big time in a game last week, bringing the ball up the court. That should have been a flagrant foul that wasn't called. So it's just not on Caitlin. She's getting the most attention, but a lot of the rookies are getting cheap shotted.
Nah, so you're going somewhere I'm not going to go. Angel Reese gets everything she deserves.
Oh, she does. She's an arrogant little pain in the ass.
Yeah. And
runs
of course,
her mouth.
The View's got to jump in, and Whoopi Goldberg, who I can't imagine ever played any kind of athletic sport in her life. It's just basketball. We got to stop protecting Caitlin Clark. Again, do you
Nobody's
understand?
ever protected her. That's the issue.
Do you understand the money she's bringing into the sport? You now have chartered flights for these teams because of Caitlin Clark. You are now getting more viewers because of Caitlin Clark. And by the way, again, I'm done. You lost me because of the racist bullshit that you're pulling right now. So Kennedy Clark and Angel Reese can kiss my ass. You just lost me. I was watching these games the first 2-3 weeks of the season. I'm not going to do it anymore because I'm sick of the negativity. I'm sick of the politics. I'm sick of the racism. I'm tired of it. You're going to beat up on the little white girl? Fine. You keep doing it. And guess what's going to happen? Your league is going to fold in 5 years because you don't understand how to promote your goddamn league to make more money for yourself because you're too self-centered and too ignorant and too stupid to do it right.
Well said.
Told you I'm going to piss off more people this week, man. Going to piss them off. Piss them off. Now, even somebody we don't necessarily like, Gino Auriemma, came out in defense of Caitlin Clark.
And that's saying something.
Because he knows he's got the next
number 1 pick coming up.
Paige Beckers is coming out next year out of UConn, and she's going to have to deal with this crap too.
Yeah, she's already been dinged up her entire career.
Yep. So
how many injuries is she coming off of?
Yep. Gino comes out and says, everybody understands, and we all understand it. The rookies are going to get beat up, pushed around.
That's fine to an extent. You can't be pulling this cheap shot bullshit that's going on.
Especially when it's not during the game, during a play. So Gino Auriemma, of course,
just got a 5-year extension from UConn.
Yes. $18.7 million. So
Yeah, what the hell?
he's got security. He can say whatever he wants. See, that's the thing. You got a ton of money, you can say whatever you want. You're like us, we got no money, you can say whatever you want. Because we got nothing to lose. And they go, yeah, take half of my money. I'm still
Whatever,
okay.
I'm still set for life.
Yep.
Because you fire me, I know I could get a job coaching one of these WNBA teams.
That would be interesting to see him move up I don't think he will.
No.
But it would be interesting. Take over the Fever. That coach sucks. She's terrible.
Horrible.
And she's part of the problem. She's the one that's not telling the players, stick up for Caitlin.
She's your teammate.
I'd fire her ass in a second if I was running that team. I don't even know who runs the team. Does the WNBA? Does the NBA?
Who knows?
Runs the team?
At this point, does it really frickin' matter?
She can't coach defense. And again, I have watched most of the first 10 games they've played. They can't play defense. They let Caitlin Clark get beat to hell. And again, Aaliyah Boston's a piece of crap. Won't stick up for her teammate. Can't jump more than 2 inches off the ground.
They're a hot mess.
And it's sad because even a good team like the New York Liberty, they've got stars. They've got Ionescu. They ask them the questions. They go, oh, well, it's just the way the game's played, and that's how, how it goes. There is so much animosity.
Bullshit.
Across the league for Caitlin Clark. Jealousy. Because she brought so many viewers and so much attention to this league. It's just sickening.
And because she got the big contract, the big endorsement deal.
If we brought a third person in on this podcast, a Stephen A. Smith, let's say, and he brought in 10 million more listeners a month, am I going to go, well, I don't really like you. You really don't do a lot for me. No, I'm going to say, hey, Stephen, good to see you again, man. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
We could make it work.
We'll make it work. I mean, how insipid and stupid are these women in the WNBA? From the commissioner on down. Boomer Esiason had a great point. Said the commissioner needs to be the one to bring in all the coaches on a conference call and say, this shit needs to stop right now.
The shit ends or our league is done. I
don't know why it's so difficult. Again, Dave, we got to run the WNBA. Now we got to run the WNBA.
Guess what? It folds.
Jesus Christ, we got to run everything again. Because last thing we move on. I hate when they do this. And they do this in the NBA too. Of course, the foul on Caitlin Clark, which was not called a flagrant on Saturday. Then they go after the fact, we're going to upgrade it.
Maybe it actually was. No shit, Sherlock.
What good does that do to come back a day later and go, the league goes, well, now it's a flagrant one.
Well,
what good does that do?
Carter still got to play the rest of the damn game.
And then Angel Reese got kicked out of a game yesterday as we tape.
She got double technical.
Oh, now they've pulled one back.
Yeah, so she got in an official's face. Fine, tee her up. But really, because she threw her hands up, you teed her up a second
you're
time?
You're still sticking up for her. You're disappointing me. Angel Reese is the devil. She is literally evil.
If you throw your hand up, you should not get teed up
I'm looking at the big picture with her. I'm looking at everything she's done from college. She couldn't even get along with Kim Mulkey. Kim Mulkey had to kick her off the team for a couple weeks. Because Angel Reese is all about Angel Reese. She is an example of what's wrong with this society. Me. I don't care about the growth
of the business. All I care about is growing my social media presence.
There you go. Then here's an idea. Quit the WNBA and go on OnlyFans and show your boobs. You'll make more money. Right? She'll make more money.
She'll make more money.
There you go, Angel. There's your solution. Quit the WNBA. Go on OnlyFans. We've solved your problem. Go away. Go away. Now, the NFL is not going away anytime soon.
No, they're not. Neither is Mr. Jefferson leaving Minnesota anytime soon. Good Lord, when is the stupid money going to stop? 4 years, 140 million, 110 guaranteed. It's fucking ridiculous.
There is no way. There is no way you can have, and I've looked across after seeing this contract, looked across the NFL. There is no way you can have a top level quarterback and a top level receiver now.
No, you
It
can't.
will destroy your salary cap. The only reason they could sign Justin Jefferson to this deal is because J.J. McCarthy is going to be their quarterback, rookie quarterback on a rookie deal.
And
That's it.
Who is it? Sam Darnold is they brought in on the cheap?
Right. That's the only way.
That's the only way they can get away with this.
And this is the conundrum your team is going to have to deal with real soon. The Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, with the money they're giving out to everybody.
They just gave Jalen Waddle a 3-year, $84.75 million extension, $76 million guaranteed through 2028. You've also got Tyreek Hill making a boat ton of money.
Yep.
How are you going to pay Tua?
You're not.
Because if you lock up that type of money between Hill, Waddle, and Tua, you'll have no defense. You'll have no defense.
No team.
I mean, you're looking at what?
These guys
90, 100 million between 3 players?
Yeah, you cannot live in that type of financial situation and field a competitive team. And it's impossible.
You wonder what these other teams are going to do now with their big name receivers who are up for contracts. We've talked about Brandon Ayuk with the 49ers. Now, they could pay him. They just paid Christian McCaffrey, gave him a 2-year extension.
Yeah, averaging 19 million more, added 8 million on a year onto his deal.
Yep, 24
and made
mil
24 guaranteed additional.
Right. But you're not paying Brock Purdy jack shit.
No, you're not.
So you can afford to pay Ayuk still. But the Cowboys now, different situation. The Bengals now, different situation. Those two teams are the situation we're talking about where you're going to pay your quarterback 40, 50 million and you're going to pay a receiver 30, 35 million. That's a hell of a lot of money.
Yep. What are the Cowboys going to give CeeDee Lamb that big deal?
That's what I'm saying.
Are they going to pay Dak Prescott?
On top of what they're paying Prescott, you've already got Burrow in Cincinnati locked up, but you know he wants Chase. But what is that going to do for the rest of the team? How much is that going to hamstring the front office in what they can spend on the rest of the team?
Yep, because you're going to screw yourself on getting your offensive line to protect your quarterback, to give him time to get the ball to the receiver. You got no money to spend on defense. This is fucking stupid.
And this is the chess game these GMs have to play.
Ugh.
And this is why I was glad the Bears drafted Caleb Williams and let Justin Fields go, because I did not want them to have to even think about making that decision.
No,
about
it
paying
was
Justin
not there.
Fields. He was not worth 30, 40 million.
No. I heard interview with Keenan Allen. They asked him about, having played with Phillip Rivers and Justin Herbert. And he said the difference between the really good quarterbacks is when they see the opening, they throw it without hesitation. Damn the consequences. and it's quarterbacks who lag that are indecisive and either don't throw it or throw it too late and get picked. That was the knock on Justin Fields, is he could see the throw and he wouldn't do it. He doubted himself. You have to have a quarterback who has the confidence to see it and throw it instantly. No second guessing.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Keenan Allen is out of his mind if he thinks he's getting a deal beyond this year. I can't see.
No, not with drafting Roma Dunze.
No. The Bears will probably, I would imagine, re-sign DJ Moore, and then they have Moore and Adunze. But you just brought in Allen for that 1 year.
The bridge year to work with a rookie quarterback
and he's got that
work
connection with
a
him.
rookie receiver. He also said, they asked him about Odunze coming in, and he goes, this kid is prepared. He knows where he needs to be. He knows the routes to run already.
Yeah, so the Bears are good in terms of their cap space, what they're doing. But just keep in mind, again, you cannot afford to have a top-level receiver, a top-level quarterback, and be able to expect the front office to put together a team.
Yeah, because let's face it, you need a top-level quarterback, a top-level receiver, a top-level corner, and a top-level edge rusher.
Yep.
Those 4 positions can easily suck over half your cap money.
Yep. And the NFL can sit there and brag about how they make so much money, and because of that, every year the cap goes up.
Yeah, but so does these stupid-ass salaries to play a fucking game.
That's the thing. I think the percentage of the salaries when it comes to quarterbacks and now wide receivers is going up so much.
It's ridiculous. The percentage is insane that is dedicated to these players.
Of course, the Bears, as much as they have tried to fight it off, and that's one of the few things that I love about the front office, is they are smart enough to say, we have no desire to be on Hard Knocks.
Well, they were mandated by the league that they have to this year.
Yep. So now with the 3 different versions of Hard Knocks, now they've got preseason, in-season, and training camp.
Yeah.
But the Bears will now be the focus for the lead into the regular season, beginning August the 6th. Of course, the Hall of Fame game is August the 1st, where the Bears will play the Texans. Then in other NFL news, head coach Kevin Stefanski, GM Andrew Berry get extensions in Cleveland. I still want to know how you're going to fix the quarterback situation. Is Deshaun Watson really ever going to come back to the form he showed his first couple years in Houston? I don't understand rewarding people for making that move. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that's the jury is still out on that.
That's not Stefanski's fault. He's done a great job.
No, that's the owners that are responsible for the Watson deal.
So Stefanski and Berry, and outside of the Watson, that shit show, they've done a good job.
Yeah, they've done a good job. The front office,
team, the coach, and that's what you want. You want the coach and the GM on the same page. We see that in Detroit. They just got an extension, both of them together.
Yep.
Because they work in tandem. That's what you ideally want. I don't think Chicago's got that. That's just me, but
we'll see.
Yep.
The next 2 years are going to tell the tale.
Of course, because we live in a reactionary bullshit society, the Commanders have cut kicker Brandon McManus after we talked about it last week.
After the allegations were made.
Again, allegations. When do people get their day in court before they are dragged across the coals? Because I'm telling you, I have heard not just in sports, but in regular life, time after time. And we'll talk about this.
Reactionary cancel.
I've got this on the weekend edition too. So check that out. A response to this. You cannot fire somebody over an allegation.
Things have got to be proven
It
first.
will come back and it will bite you in the ass. If this comes back that he did nothing wrong, he can sue your ass for wrongful termination. But, perceptions. Oh my God, optics. Oh my God, the optics are terrible. Especially with Washington after Dan Snyder. Why would Brandon McManus have to pay the price for what Dan Snyder did? That's my question. I hope.
And why would Washington have put themselves in this position to begin with?
Did they do their due diligence?
Probably not, because these airline hostesses, stewardesses, had filed claims against the Jaguars with this right after it happened. This has been out there, and now it's just coming into the court system. So obviously Washington didn't do any background work.
And then we have the Buffalo
And obviously
Bills.
Jacksonville didn't want to re-sign him because of it.
Correct. I still would like to see the legal process play out before we condemn people.
Oh, so would I. But I want to know more of the background of what was going on
If this was out
there.
there, the Commanders should have stayed away to begin with.
Knowing the history they have as it is.
Yep. And I love this story. Mrs. C's team, the Buffalo Bills. We've kind of given her a hard time here this offseason because they butchered their salary cap, and so they're no receivers
for life.
They have no receivers. Again, a team that banked everything on the quarterback.
Yep, and there's nothing else.
But they have now signed gold medal wrestler Gable Steveson, hoping that he will be able to pan out as a defensive tackle. And by the way, Gable Steveson, just a year or two ago, signed a futures contract with WWE. He has been on and off with WWE for the last couple years, and they just said, no, not really our thing. Sorry, dude.
You're not going to cut it.
Just because you can wrestle like traditional
doesn't
Greco-Roman,
mean you can morph in.
You got to have the personality, you got to have the fire, got to have the talk. You got to talk the talk, walk the walk.
Yeah, which was the perfect meld from the NFL to the WWE for Steve Mongo McMichael.
Yes, and he actually got into the Four Horsemen, one of the greatest, if not the greatest faction in wrestling history.
He was a badass on the gridiron. He was a badass in the ring.
Because he could talk the talk. He could talk trash.
And he could back it up.
Yep. And then, of course, our favorite team. This is, again, why I'm so disenchanted with life. I should like the Kansas City Chiefs. They are the best team in the NFL. They've been the best team in the NFL for the last 4 or 5 years. But they keep stumbling over themselves and making themselves look stupid.
Andy Reid.
And now it's the Chiefs' defensive tackle, Isaiah Buggs. Mr. Buggs, charged with not only animal cruelty, as police found, and one unfortunate death with one of the dogs found on a property he owned. Also, in a separate case, found to be menacing and assaulting a woman.
I want to see both of those details, because there's issues I have with the animal cruelty bit. from reports I've heard.
All right, so now we move on to college football.
Yep, here on Spotify, Pocket Casts, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
Otherwise known as iHeartRadio. Don't forget to check out the Facebook page every week with our baseball picks, our NASCAR picks. When we get to the NFL and college football season,
all 4,000 picks will make for that.
And of course, I always pick angry. And believe me, this week with dumbasses of the week, I picked angry. So we have got almost double digits.
Oh!
Almost double digits in both the sports and in pop culture. Your Saturday morning hangover cure.
That's right, the weekend edition. Check that out as well for your politically incorrect pop culture commentary.
Featured review this week, The Magnificent, awesome, finally available on Netflix, Godzilla -1, among other great stuff. So, I've already signed off on the WNBA. If they want to be racist idiots, fine. I won't watch anymore. And I've already said over the last few weeks, college football is dead to me. I honestly really do not want to watch college football anymore based on what it's becoming.
Yep, when you're going to have two conferences running everything, it's over. Who really gives a shit?
Oh, but now, because the NCAA and all these big schools realize, well, this $22 million that we're going to have to give the players every year, where's that going to come from? So now what are we going to get? A proposal is on the table. Corporate logos not only on the fields, but on the jerseys.
And there you go. The official final nail in the coffin of amateur athletics at the collegiate level.
And all you idiots in the press, all you pinheads who are clapping, oh, this is wonderful, this is wonderful. Yeah, you're destroying collegiate sports is what you're doing. And I have always said, fine, pay the players, take the scholarships away immediately. They don't deserve to take an educational experience away from somebody who really and truly needs and wants to get a degree. But you won't do that because you're pinhead idiots.
Ugh, it's so damn frustrating.
So, of course, Notre Dame, here locally, just a few miles away from the Sports Frenzy Studios. We talked last week about lacrosse and how they did so wonderfully well in lacrosse. And we talked about Tyler Buckner. Of course, their 22 bowl MVP in football. Now, of course, coming back to win in lacrosse. Well, now he's coming back again to play football.
He's being a walk-on wide receiver. A far cry from being the starting quarterback.
Can I just say one thing about this, though? Honestly. Our buddy Jamie, our unofficial 9th member of our panel.
Yeah.
Who will, he'll go dark for days because he's a truck driver. He's on the road. But when he finally gets to let loose, he lets loose. And he sends us some amazing viewpoints, opinions, memes.
Yep.
Today,
we
sent us the bracket.
The bracket of the 12-team playoff.
And what did I say? I said, give me 2 shots and I will guess all
the
12
final
teams.
12.
Because that's how easy. Notre Dame's get a lock. Notre Dame will have to lose 4 games to not make the college football playoffs. 3 games, they will be in. They will figure out a way to. Yeah. It's going to be SEC gets 4 teams. Big Ten gets 4 teams. Notre Dame locked in. So that's 9 right there. So the ACC will get a couple. The Big 12 will get a couple.
Maybe the Mountain West.
No. I think they're going to shun the Mountain West.
So, as I said, and of course, the chaos we hope for will be ruined by the idiots who are doing the final rankings. Because, of course, you're going to see rematches upon rematches that nobody gives a shit about. Seriously, who cares how many times Alabama and Georgia play each other? It's the same bullshit. We don't want to see it 2-3 times a year. Done. Over with.
And if you're so stupid to think that you're not going to lock in Alabama and Georgia along with Notre Dame,
Michigan and Ohio State are going to be
right?
there.
And
Come on.
Now, of course, USC and UCLA. USC probably will get an automatic lock in the Big Ten now. That is going to take me so much time to get used to. Saying the Big Ten now has USC and UCLA. It's pathetic. That was it. That the death of the Pac-12 was the death of college football.
Yep.
You went from the 5 power conferences that you could actually maybe kind of get behind. And then now the Big Ten goes from Rutgers to UCLA and USA. It's not regional anymore.
No. And that is my biggest problem, is the regional rivalries are done. This is crap.
And the travel.
It's ridiculous.
Now. Rutgers having to go out to LA? Come on. Come on.
UCLA having to go out there to go to Maryland?
Yeah. Now, of course, if you care about the College Football Hall of Fame, and their ballot has been released.
Whoop-de-doo.
Now the first-timers on the ballot. Nick Saban should be a lock.
Yep.
Urban Meyer, despite what you think of him, should be a lock.
Yeah.
Considering the fact he won at both Florida and Ohio State. Manti Te'o and his fake girlfriend.
No.
I would love just to see him come up, have his arm
around air.
Yeah. And then Aaron Donald, who will undoubtedly make the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So there you go. Beyond this, they pulled the College Football Hall of Fame out of South Bend, so I don't care.
It's failed everywhere it's gone.
Yep. Now, in other pro news, sports, other types of athletic competitions, our girl Nelly Korda, wow. Bad week for her.
Tin Cup weekend.
Yes, my man takes the words right out of my mouth. I had them written down. In the U.S. Women's Open, Nelly Korda tin-cupped number 12 on Thursday, which means she hit a 10 on a par 3.
Ouch.
Stubbornly trying to make the same shot over and over again. If you have not seen Tin Cup with Kevin Costner and Cheech Marin.
Ball.
Yeah.
Ball.
And we've all been there in different circumstances, not necessarily golf, but in life, where you just go, I know the saying is to do the same thing over and over again and fail.
Expect a different result is the definition of insanity.
But we all, at some point in time, have done it. And that's what Nelly Korda did. Despite the fact she has been on an unbelievable run this year, she missed the cut at the U.S. Women's Open. Yuka Sasso. Now, this course played very tough, so Yuka Sasso wins for the second time with 4 under.
Oof.
So
that's
much
a
different,
tough course.
Much different than the men a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Who were setting unbelievable low marks. In boxing, couple of little tidbits, little notes. Unfortunately, the Mike Tyson Paul fight has been postponed. That flare up with the ulcer.
Yep, it's gonna keep Mike from being able to train
Yep.
properly.
So we'll see if it ever actually does happen.
Yeah, you have ulcers. You don't want to get hit in the stomach.
Nope. Nope. And then, of course, this fight was sanctioned, so I'm not saying it wasn't legitimate, but now moving on to legitimate boxing. We know that Tyson Fury had his rematch clause. So Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk will fight again. No longer the undisputed because of all the bullshit, different factions involved. But
And
for
the
all intents
pansies
and
not being
purposes,
able to fight multiple times and all of that stuff.
yep,
And
December the 21st, those two will get it on again. Next week, Dave and I will be able to recap the French Open. But the big news coming out of the French Open is Novak Djokovic.
out, having to undergo knee surgery for a torn meniscus.
Yes, he will not only be unable to finish the French Open, but will not play at Wimbledon.
No.
But before this injury, before he was actually sidelined, he did win. And he set the record for most Grand Slam matches won, 370.
Whew.
So yet another record that he has set. And Dave and I are not the biggest tennis guys in the world, but
No, we don't have our whites.
Federer, Nadal, Djokovic,
Boom.
you're not going to see anything like this again.
No, those three have put together such a phenomenal run, battling each other back and forth. It's been amazing to have witnessed.
Yep. And the thing is, when we talk about who won the French Open next week, we'll talk about it for 10 seconds and move on because the names aren't there anymore. There's just no name right now
So
on either side, men or women.
We are going to have to wait to see who of these up-and-comers are going to start dominating. Or are they all just going to kind of
Yeah, supposedly
wash
Carlos
out?
Alcaraz was supposed to be the next great one. And he, even though he's won a couple majors, hasn't had that
Dominant
run, that
stretch.
dominance. Yeah.
Hasn't shown that he's capable of having that dominance.
Boxing, sticking with boxing. Last week we talked about the Home Alone house, and Dave has got his bid in. I think
Not
$6 million you put in, right? 6 million? Yeah.
6 million pesos?
Well, now Dave's got another property he's got his eye on. He's going to have to go down to Louisville because he's going to have to buy Muhammad Ali's pink house, little pink houses.
Yeah, no, I'm
for
good.
You and Muhammad Ali's pink Louisville childhood home is up for sale.
No, I'm good, thanks.
Come on. Can you imagine?
No.
I own Muhammad Ali's little pink childhood house and the Home Alone house. Come on.
No, I'm good.
8-9 million pocket change for you.
Shit.
Pocket change for you.
Yeah, right. And by the way, Home Alone wasn't that great.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that 110%. If I don't own it,
it's a one-time watch.
If I don't have it in the Maestro's movie collection, ain't that good.
It was a one-time watch.
I will usually buy a movie if it had one great scene. If I can get it for $4 or $5, don't own Home Alone. That should tell you right there.
Bingo.
All right, can I do a badass? A Clint Eastwood badass?
Sure.
I actually got two.
I give permission.
I give two. Two? Can I do two?
Sure, why not?
Okay, we're going to talk about baseball in both of these. Let's start off with the Tri-City Chili Peppers. The Tri-City Chili Peppers of the Coastal Plain League invested over $100,000 in their stadium in Virginia to install black lights so they could play what's called cosmic baseball. And you kids have got to get out there online and look at the pictures.
Are they trying to compete with the Savannah Bananas?
I don't think the Bananas have pulled this off. If you guys go out there and look at these pictures, they played June the 1st, the first ever night of cosmic baseball, and the pictures I saw were phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. 3 more dates coming up. And again, if they've invested $100,000 in this, they must believe they're going to bring that money back in spades, because they've only got 3 more dates: June the 15th, June the 28th, July the 20th. But get out there, look at the pictures of the Tri-City Chili Peppers and playing the cosmic baseball in the Coastal Plain League. My God, it looks unbelievably, fun beyond belief.
All right.
Now let's stick with baseball. The Birmingham Southern D3 team. Now, a lot of people probably already know about this team. Made the Division III College World Series despite the fact their school shut down.
Wow.
They were playing baseball in the D3 College World Series with no school. No school behind them whatsoever. Nowhere to go. Now, couple things here on top of that. When they were told their school was shutting down, did they fold?
No.
They went on a 19-4 run to make the D3 College World Series after the news broke that their school was shutting down. They had to go through a norovirus issue.
Oh.
They were finally knocked out this past Sunday. Double elimination, of course. They lost, they won, then they lost. Now this one's for Dave. This last little part of this is for Dave. Their ace pitcher, the Birmingham Southern team, their ace pitcher is one Drake LaRoche. Drake LaRoche happens to be the son of one Adam LaRoche. And I do believe that Adam LaRoche quit on one Major League Baseball team called the Chicago White Sox because they would not let his son, Drake LaRoche, hang around in the dugout.
Rightly so, because Adam was a douchebag.
But now his son has made some semblance of history.
Well, there you go.
All right, NASCAR. Time to talk NASCAR and racing in general. Let's talk, before we get into NASCAR, let's talk about doing the double. Because recently, of course,
that's what she said.
Well, I got the pineapple out on the front door, so the Adirondack chairs are on order.
All right.
Kyle Larson, despite the fact that I find ridiculously so that NASCAR made him wait as long as they did, this past Tuesday, Kyle Larson finally got his waiver.
I have an issue with the waiver process that NASCAR has in place right now. It was supposed to be set up for drivers who were injured, that were medically not cleared to race, and giving them the opportunity to still compete. I hate the fact that drivers who missed races because of suspensions, or in this case, not being able to get there because of doing something else and weather related.
You and I are going to go toe to toe on this. Go ahead. Sorry.
I haven't. Larson's case, promoting, I'm okay with it because it's promoting racing.
That's what I was going to say, is that
my
issue, attention.
My issue is with the guys who NASCAR suspends, but then they'll still give a waiver to.
Okay.
But at least stick with something. Larson doesn't need a waiver. He's going to make it regardless. Because you have to start a race in all 26.
Yes. He had to get the waiver. But the promotion of the sport is the big thing.
That's the big piece.
And we'll talk more about this at the end.
We will. But in the past, you've had guys get the waiver for being suspended. They should not have gotten a waiver because they were penalized for a reason, and they should not be awarded the opportunity to win in the championship as a result.
I don't have a problem with that logic, but
Larson should have been allowed.
Larson, for what he was doing for the sport of racing,
should have been a no-brainer.
It's a petty little thing for them to leave him hanging.
He made every effort to be there.
And he brought how many more eyeballs
to both races?
Right.
That's a no-brainer.
Again, shorts, it's just like the WNBA argument from earlier. It's exactly like Angel Reese not understanding that Caitlin Clark is bringing more eyeballs to the sport. So let's not take her out back and beat her silly with an ugly stick. Let's let her just play the game and everybody soaks in the money. Everybody benefits.
Yeah.
You get the chartered flights. Kyle Larson doing the double or attempting to do the double brings in more eyeballs for both IndyCar and the Cup Series. Sorry. Very passionate again this week.
Yeah.
Don't care who I piss off. Don't care.
If you're doing the double, something like that, if it doesn't work out, you should get the waiver for it. If you're injured and you need the waiver, fine, if you're going to qualify.
I got a question.
But if you're suspended because you were an asshole, you should not get a waiver to get in.
Well, I got a question. You've brought up a good point in that couldn't have Kyle Larson gone to NASCAR ahead of time and said, I'm going to run the double. Are you going to let me do that? And if I don't make it back for Charlotte, are you going to penalize me? So at least he knew.
Yeah, there should have been that back. There should have been that discussion.
He shouldn't have to do it on the back end. He shouldn't have to do it on the back end.
It should have been up front. It should have been
Wouldn't
in
that
place.
Be what sane, logical adults would do?
You would think.
Address it ahead of time.
We're dealing with NASCAR, who doesn't know what the hell they're doing on a regular basis as it is. They make shit up as they go along all the time.
Well, Joseph Newgarden, who actually won the Indy 500, now he says he might be interested in running the double. Good luck with that. It's usually a lot easier for NASCAR guys to go to IndyCar than vice versa. Now, Tony Stewart kind of did it the other way.
Stewart went from Indy to NASCAR. Juan Pablo Montoya went from Indy to NASCAR.
But he never ran the double. He never tried
the double.
Nope.
Danica Patrick went for... Never mind.
She did the double because she had a pineapple knocker on her front door.
Oh, we need to ask Ricky Stenhouse Jr. about
Oh,
that.
boy. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, and by the way, breaking news, Ricky Stenhouse will have a pineapple on his hood for this upcoming race at Sonoma. Coming up in Nashville, June the 28th. Clint Boyer coming back out of the booth. Clint Boyer is going to run the Spire, number 7 truck at Nashville. Getting
Why
back
not?
out there, having some fun.
Good for him.
Yep. Now, front row, motorsports, Todd Gilliland. I don't get the hype about Todd Gilliland, but everybody, up and coming star. Okay, great.
He's been up and coming for how many years now? Who hasn't done anything?
Yeah, again, up and coming. He's got a pineapple on his front door, too. So he gets a multi-year extension.
Okay.
Again, you're going to have all these guys from Stuart Haas on the market. You're going to have Chase Briscoe and Noah Gregson. Those two, to me, hot commodities.
You would think somebody would want
Why
to
would you commit to Todd Gilliland?
I don't know.
Just me. Now we move on to the Worldwide Technology Raceway. Race from last weekend. I hate to rip open wounds.
Christopher Bell dominates the race, but late loses a cylinder in his engine while battling for the lead.
Best car all day.
Best car all day.
Won both stages. So it was a boring ass race up until the last 20 laps. He drops the cylinder.
Ryan Blaney takes over the lead. How the fuck, as a crew chief, do you let your driver run out of gas on the last lap while leading? How is this not figured in earlier in the race? How damn stupid are you?
Yeah, Dave didn't have Ryan Blaney for the race at Worldwide Technology Raceway. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. And I feel so bad because I texted him and I thought he was watching the race. And he wasn't. And I feel so bad that I probably broke the news to you. That
like, what the?
He was in line for I already had you down. I had the spreadsheet open on my computer. Already had you in green for a win. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Inexcusable by that crew.
Some people are saying that whereas his teammates, Cindric Logano, took a second can of fuel, his team said, no, get out of the pits earlier, take 1 can of fuel. That's what I heard.
Idiots. How do you not know what your fuel mileage is?
So Austin Cindric wins. That messes up the playoff picture a lot because that's another guy, along with Daniel Suarez, outside of the top 16 in points, who now jump in to the top 16 with a win. Michael McDowell had the pole. And Worldwide Technology Raceway will stay on the schedule for 2025. Now we move on to race 16, road course time. Road course time.
Do get your bottle of wine uncorked.
Oh, Dave, let us get some Chardonnay.
And a little duck pate for our crackers.
Yes, as we watch the sweaty men from down south race around in their automobiles.
Through our wine country.
Good Lord, help us all. The pretentious Toyota Save Mart 350 from Sonoma. Prepaid. Oh, the Horde of Disgrace has made its appearance tonight.
Don't like Sonoma. Move the race down the coast to the historic Laguna Seca road course. Make them run the corkscrew.
Now, Sonoma has been repaved, and we discussed a couple months ago the issues.
Yeah, where it's already coming apart.
So we'll see what happens this coming Sunday, race 16, June the 9th, 2024. I think the elder crew, the
old guard
of Sports Frenzy have like minds when it comes to this race. Of course, we go back to the early 90s with cable access, and that would be myself, Dave, and one elder statesman. And
we are all going with the number 9 of Chase Elliott. Has not been doing that well this year. We'll see how he does on the road course. Sonoma's not been strong for him of late.
I will disagree with you on multiple points. Number one, Chase Elliott, last time I checked, on average, had the best finish of any NASCAR driver this year at any track overall. So he's not having a bad year. This is why I took him. If he was not running well, I would have gone with the Dinger. I would have gone with Van Gisbergen. But Chase seems
running
like
well
he's getting
enough.
his act together after his dumbass act last year with breaking his leg snowboarding.
I was hesitant to take him.
I wasn't. Had him, boom, out there. What, I sent it to you guys Monday morning?
Yeah.
Sunday night?
I've been hesitant because I've been thinking maybe Suarez is primed for another run.
Jesus. No, I can't trust him.
I was also looking at Reddick and Bell.
Well, Reddick, yes. Reddick's always going to be good at a road course. Bell is due for a drop-off. He has been running so well lately. Give me a break here, kids.
He had
ebbs
his
and flows.
He had his drop with the cylinder.
So you and I and Sam go with Chase Elliott. Nick and Aaron, they seem to be paired up together. Of course, Nick, the bane of my existence, took here back in May, driving me crazy. Every pick, baseball picks, NASCAR pick, late. So he finally got the message, finally got the hint after getting penalized. Now this week, what do I get? I get 2 picks. And I had to say, Nick, who do you want? You sent me this pick last Friday. I appreciate you trying to get your pick in early, but then I sent out the reminder today.
And you send me a different guy.
You're pulling a Doug on me. This is what Doug would do. So I said, come on.
Which one?
And he took his original pick. So Nick and Aaron take Martin Truex Jr., very good pick. By the way, Doug takes Kyle Busch. Doug is bound and determined to break the new system. Doug is going to find a way, despite the fact we made this so user-friendly, so snowflake-friendly. All you have to do is win a race or get in the top 10 in points.
We idiot-proofed this season.
And Doug is still going to fuck it up. He is still going to fuck it up. Kyle Busch, no way in hell would I touch him right now.
No.
Jen takes one of the hottest drivers out there right now, Ty Gibbs. I think that's a great pick.
Bill goes with Chris Buescher.
Yep. Now,
not a bad pick.
Jen doesn't have a win yet, but she's in on points.
Right.
So, yeah, I think Bill's thrown the towel in. He got off to such a monumental, fantastic start, and he hates NASCAR so much.
He's phoning it in right now.
Right. He's just waiting for the playoffs. He does not care.
Yeah.
He doesn't understand that as he drops back, though, that's points he's losing.
He's losing points down the line, which is screwing me over.
No,
by not getting stage points. No, I'm just looking overall with the idiocy of Blaney's team. losing the win and bonus points there, not only for them, but hosing me in the process.
You're already in, though. Even though
But
you're
I'm
out of the
losing.
top 10 on
I'm
points,
losing
right now the
points.
snowflake rules are working for you, right? They
They
are
are,
working for you.
but I don't like it.
You won't get any bonus points in
I
terms
don't
of the
like it.
standings.
I don't like it.
I know, because you care. You are a winner. You care. You actually care. Unlike Bill and Nick and Aaron, they don't care about NASCAR. You care. We're very split on NASCAR. It's like half and half.
Yes. So there you go. All right. There's our picks.
Moments of silence.
Big one. The sudden loss of Hall of Fame offensive lineman from the Dallas Cowboys, Larry Allen, on vacation with his family and just
And
dropped
that's
dead by
terrible.
accounts. That's
That's
awful.
terrible.
Feels so bad
Yeah,
for his family.
Somebody is always going to have to suffer. Somebody's going to find you. When you die, somebody's going to find your dead body. But for that to happen in the middle of a vacation with your family, that's just awful.
Ugh.
That is awful. And then we have Drew Gordon. Now, he basically only played in the NBA for a cup of coffee. Very short time with the 76ers. His older brother, Aaron Gordon, of course, much more well-known.
Yep.
But Drew Gordon, at 33 years old, dies in a car crash.
Ouch. Not good. Thoughts and prayers to his family and friends as well.
And then, of course, in racing, I hate to segue from a car crash to car racing, but one of those guys that Dave and I always talk about when we think back to our younger days, when we were like 10, 12 years old. I remember the name Parnelli Jones.
Yep.
And he, of course, won the 1963 Indianapolis 500. He did win a handful of NASCAR races as well. His son announced, PJ,
Yeah.
that Parnelli Jones has passed away.
Thoughts and prayers with his family and friends. One of the legends in motorsports.
All right, so what do we do, Dave? What time is it?
It's time to pivot.
Thank you, Mr. Geller. And as I said earlier, I have been in a bad mood again this week. So that means, unlike last week where we barely had enough competition for the Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week, we have got a ton. I have actually got a multi-tiered dumbass tied in to a badass. That's what I've got for you this week.
You've had too much damn time on your hands.
I just hate humanity right now. I hate everybody. Except for you. You're my brother. But outside of that, I hate everybody. And we're going to start off not once but twice. A double shot dumbass with the French. We all love the French, right? Nobody likes the French. So let's start off first with France's Arthur Rinderknecht. Yeah, I think that's right. Rinderknecht. In his home country, playing tennis at the French Open. Had to retire in his match in the second round. Why, Dave?
Why, Kev?
He injured his foot kicking an ad on the sidelines.
Oh, the little petulant bitch got upset, kicked a sign, and hurt his foot and couldn't continue.
There you go. Yep.
Dumbass.
Now, this one, okay, people are going to get upset with me, but that's fine. Like I said last week, same as this week, I'm out there to piss off as many people as possible. The French Football League, which is called the LFP, okay,
Okay.
suspended Mo Camara, who played for Monaco. He's from Mali,
Yep.
but he plays for Monaco in the French Football League because he covered up on his jersey with tape the LGBTQ plus logo.
Because he doesn't believe in that. Again, let the individual players express their own beliefs. Stop forcing things down people's throats.
Thank you.
If they want to wear it, let them wear it. If they don't force them.
A job, whether it's sports, whether you're sitting behind a desk, should not include politics unless you are getting hired in to work for a political organization. Otherwise, politics should never enter into your job description. So I am all with Mo Camara here. I don't want to wear it. Don't make me wear it. And if you're going to tell me it's part of my job description, I'm going to sue your ass. Because
For
nobody
violating my own rights.
told me playing soccer meant I had to promote specific political beliefs that I don't necessarily align myself with. I think it's pretty simple.
Yep.
All right, we talked about this earlier. This is where I'm going to go a little nutsy cuckoo. I'm going to go back and forth. Dumbass, badass, dumbass. All right, earlier we talked, of course, about Pat McAfee and his awful, awful choice of words as he's trying to stick up for Caitlin Clark, and I know he likes her. He shows up, he's on the sidelines for every Indiana Fever game. But this is what he does. And this is what happens when you pay a guy millions and millions and millions of dollars to be controversial. Is he's going to say things and you're going to go, "Oh shit. Did he really say that?"
And then he thinks, "Oh shit, did I really say that?"
He, of course, calls Caitlin Clark a white bitch. And believe it or not, I do agree with him in the fact that I think he was trying to compliment her, but you cannot. That's a bad look. You cannot use those words.
No.
That makes him an absolute dumbass. But now we go back to a secondary dumbass. And of course, nobody will call this guy out but me. Nobody will call this guy out but me. And I will keep calling him out because I don't forget. I can hold a grudge like nobody's fucking business.
It's true.
Dave's the only man in this world that I have never had a grudge against. He can attest to this. Anybody else? Grudge, 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 grudge. I don't understand why Kendrick Perkins keeps getting away with the fact that he called out Joel Embiid last year and said Joel Embiid should win the MVP in the NBA because we don't need Denver's player, of course, white guy from overseas, to win another MVP. Now, of course, he did win again this year, but last year, almost single-handedly because ESPN gives him a mouthpiece, Kendrick Perkins got away with sabotaging the MVP.
Because he's a piece of garbage.
And now he comes out and he goes, "Oh, it's terrible what they're doing to Caitlin Clark. I think it's awful. And I think Pat McAfee should apologize for calling her a white bitch." I was like, "You fucking hypocrite. You motherfucking hypocrite."
Come on.
Now, I circle it all back around to my badass, my third and final sports badass of the week. Now, this guy is known for being a bit of a douche. Now, he is down home Indiana. This is one Dan Dockich. Dan Dockich has my back. Dan Dockich heard what Kendrick Perkins said, the disingenuous comments about, you need to apologize for calling Caitlin Clark a white bitch, after what he's been saying in the past few years about pushing black players in the NBA for MVP over white players. Dan Dockich ripped him a new one and happened to bring up a certain incident in the past where Dan Dockich said, how about you don't focus so much on, what people are saying about Caitlin Clark and maybe address the fact that you hit a woman about 10 years ago?
Boom.
So Dan Dockich got my back, my badass, my third badass of the week. But in the end, Pat McAfee cannot use that
inexcusable.
Term. And Kendrick Perkins, shut your goddamn pie hole. I can't believe ESPN still has you on the payroll. Then again, yeah, I can. Going back to NASCAR, I think Dave's going to side with him. Even though I think he's a jackass. Bubba Wallace, in an interview, and, he has his right to his opinion, but when he was asked by Kenny Wallace on stage here over the past week in an interview, do you think Kyle Larson should get a waiver? Bubba Wallace basically said, he made a choice, and I will say nothing more than that. What a bitter little fucking bitch he is.
Oh, just because you couldn't get a ride to do the double? Because somebody's more popular than you? Shut up, Bubba.
This is Bubba again. Bubba has the wide open lane in front of him to do good. Bubba has had for the last few years the chance to expand diversity in NASCAR.
Bubba keeps to make sabotaging us like him himself.
Yes, between the noose on the garage door and now stuff like this, Bubba Wallace is a jackass. And he will always be a jackass. He is not the guy you want promoting diversity.
He just can't figure it out.
No. He has the chance to open so many doors in NASCAR, and he keeps fucking it up over because he can't stop yapping and spouting hate, and spouting conspiracy theories, and spouting racism. Ugh. All right, let's wrap things up. A double shot tied together. Let's start off with LeBron James. Of course, he already has a permanent seat on the Sports Frenzy Plane of Doom. By the way, I have a new idea for the Sports Frenzy Plane of Doom, which ties into this upcoming Saturday's weekend edition.
Oh, is it going to be sponsored by Boeing?
No, I was going to say, that's good, but I was going to say, everybody that we strap in, Whoopi Goldberg, LeBron James, Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi,
Joy Behar.
We've already talked about how we just want to drop the plane in the middle of the Atlantic, right?
I thought we were going into an active volcano.
Okay, that too. But now, after watching Godzilla -1, bombs on the sides, fly that son of a bitch right into his mouth and blow it up. Sorry, you have to listen to the weekend edition.
Wouldn't that be the perfect mission to Moscow or Beijing? Maybe we've split them into two.
We've got plenty. We've got more than enough room. We can. Boeing's needs the work right now. Boeing needs the work, so we can commission 2 planes. So LeBron, in his typical immature, petulant self, complaining that he's mad. Why is LeBron mad? He's mad because he sees Kyrie Irving playing in the NBA Finals, and he's mad because he's not playing with Kyrie anymore.
I thought LeBron did not like Kyrie from their time in Cleveland and wanted nothing to do with them again.
Well, and also those two have enough pull where if they wanted to play together, they could have. They could have figured out a way.
Figured it out.
Considering the fact we're talking about Bronny James somehow getting drafted by the Lakers just so he can play with his father, you're telling me that these two couldn't figure out a way to play together?
Again,
if, like you said,
if they wanted to.
If they liked each other. If they liked each other. And this is typical LeBron bullshit. My super team. I can't win without my super team. And again, the fucker is not one of the top 10 players in NBA history. He never has been. He never will be. Will you people stop? He's not better than Bill Russell, Kareem, Wilt Chamberlain, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kobe Bryant.
Michael Jordan, for crying out loud.
Number one, obviously. He's not better than any of them. Will you stop? Oh, my God. And then we go on for our last one before we make our final judgment, our final decision. To Kyrie Irving. Now, I hate the fact this idiot is in the NBA Finals and how he has tainted Luka Doncic and turned him into a jackass. And of course, a lot of that's probably from the owner, Mark Cuban, who's a jackass. But, again, the NBA gets away with murder.
They can do whatever they want, thanks to the alien.
Kyrie Irving, last year, got a nice little cushy job over in China. Chief Creative Officer at a shoe company called Anta. Okay?
Oh, we're taking blood shoe money, okay.
But no, the NBA gets to do that. Golf, no. Rory McIlroy. By the way, how much am I pissed off about the fact that weasel-looking motherfucker is supposedly dating Amanda Balionis, the hottest golf chick of all time? He is the ugliest motherfucker. He looks like a rat. He looks like a rat, Dave. And he's banging her?
Supposedly.
I am not happy about this. I am not on the record. Put it down in the Sports Frenzy archives. I am not happy about this.
Noted.
That whiny fucktard rat-looking asshole banging Amanda Balionis. I'm not happy. So Kyrie Irving gets this little cushy assignment. Obviously, tons of money involved.
Money for nothing.
And the chicks for free. After all the bullshit he pulled over here with the anti-Semitism and pushing his way out of one team to another team to another team. Again, by the way, I hope Boston destroys the Mavericks. I hope it's a sweep. I hope it's a 4-game sweep.
Only hope.
4-game sweep would be fantastic. Kyrie Irving, and a lot of people are going, this is such a wonderful gesture. Oh my God, it's so wonderful. Oh, it's heartwarming and fantastic.
No.
If I was part of this company, I would say, you're fucking out the door right now for mismanagement. You don't get to spend our money like this. He gave his father, Dredrick Irving, got a shoe deal with Anta over in China.
So stupid. So stupid.
I mean, that's nepotism time. Oh, but they're saying, oh, this is different. This
No,
is
it's
the
not.
reverse.
It's
He's
bullshit.
honoring his
It's
father.
stupid. It's
It's a
lame.
waste of
There's
company money.
no reason for
Who's
it.
going to go out and buy the Dredrick Irving shoe? Seriously.
So bad.
This is an abuse of power, is what it is. He doesn't care about the company. This is him, once again. Kyrie cares only about Kyrie. Let's give my dad money.
So bad.
And how much of that's going to kick back to Kyrie.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so your list.
I already know who it is.
Well, let me just tell the kids.
All right, run it down again.
Kyrie Irving. The French Football League. Arthur Rinderneck. Pat McAfee. Bubba Wallace. LeBron James. And, of course, Kendrick Perkins.
Renderneck.
For kicking the ad.
For kicking the ad in the middle of a match. Ruining his shot at advancing.
I'm going with Kyrie.
There you go.
And this is one that came in just today at the last minute. I can't stand this. And this may be because I'm an accountant. I have a business degree. This is just terrible business.
It is.
It's awful, terrible business. And the fact that they let him over in China do this, it's pathetic. It's pathetic.
Be that as it may, as pathetic as it is, how dumb are you to throw a tantrum and kick a sign?
That's pretty dumb, too. I will say, that's pretty dumb. All right, weekend edition. We've talked about it. We have got Godzilla -1.
Oh.
We're going to talk about some old school rock and roll. We'll catch you up on what we're watching on TV and streaming. And we have just as many dumbasses.
So there you go.
In the weekend edition as we just had here in the sports edition. So, Dave, say goodnight to the kids.
Good night to the kids.